Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So I thought today we would continue working on our folio. So I wanted to show you what I have done so far. Now I added these little flip up things. And do you remember me telling you before you add your hinges, hide them under the paper? Well, I'm going to tell you something your mother has probably told you 1,000 times. Do as I say, not as I do. Because I forgot to add these under the paper that I covered this with. And there they are, shining for all the world to see, making me a crazy woman. So, to cover this one, we're going to put a pocket down here. And I was thinking I was going to make it a green one. But I think that's just too much green. That would make my eyeballs explode. So then I thought, and if you guys could see everything that is piled up on my table over here. I've got my scoreboard, I've got my cutter, I've got everything. So let me put my scoreboard away. So, it doesn't take a dive for the floor. I've got my little cutting board. I've got paper. Ooh, that'll be a pretty piece. All right, so let's use that for one. And maybe, let's see, we haven't used, and maybe let's use some of that. Oh, hold on here. My chair just went flying out from under me. Yeah, well, things like that happen. Things like that happen. So, then I also wanted to show you an error that I made. Let me show you, excuse me. Let me show you the error I made before we do this. So let me close this up. Because I think it's important that as beginners, and I'm not a beginner, I'm not an expert by all means, but I'm not a beginner, for you to see how to handle things that go wrong so you don't panic. So this is the front that we've been working on, okay? This is the front. Okay, this is the yellow side that we've been working on. We added this on the first day. Still haven't added that. This was the little flip we made, remember? And I have that little, I have that to put in there. I haven't done it yet, but I have it. It's over here on my stack. Here it is. And I need to get that in there so I don't lose it. So here's the tag that goes in there. So that goes in there. And then this flips. Okay? Now, we could add more pockets over here if we wanted, but I don't think that they're needed because this is going to fold on top of it, and it's getting a little bulky. So what I ended up doing was I ended up, playing with the folds to see if it was going to fold the way I wanted it to. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't folding the way I wanted it to because I made this page, I put this in the wrong spot. I wasn't paying attention, and I moved it over too far this way. I needed it to be a little bit closer into the spine, so I had to trim this side. Because, see, when I folded it, it looks really pretty here, but then when I tried to fold it the way that I wanted it to go this way, I couldn't do that. And I wanted everything to fold in like this on top of each other to give me one neat piece like this. And it wasn't doing that. When I got everything done, it wasn't doing that because I put this piece in the wrong spot and it just wasn't letting me do that. So I had to trim this one piece, threw everything off. Now, I could have cut it off and I could have moved it. But I thought it's important that I show you all, some options that you can handle for mistakes. So what I did was I trimmed this piece. I got out my scoreboard and I trimmed it. And then I took and I made sure that this fold was, you know, it was like it was supposed to be. And then I came over to this side and I trimmed this side to match. Okay, so this side is now the same size. I'm so sorry. This side is now the same size as this side. Okay. And then over here, I added the little flip that we were talking about. And I made my little pocket. And let me show you. This is just a little circle pocket right there. And then a little tuck right here. Now, I didn't want to make up here another square. I thought we do squares all the time. So I used my 2-inch punch. It looks like this. You know, it's just a 2-inch circle punch. And I stuck my paper in as far as it would go, and I punched a circle. I inked around it with the same ink that we've been using, including the inside of the circle. And then I took that punch, you know, that I punched. I took that circle, and I just used one of my rub-ons on it. And then I took a piece of tape, just regular Scotch tape, you know, comes off a roll that looks like this. And I taped it on the back. That's all I did to hold it in place. And then I covered the back of it with the same paper. Okay? Easy peasy. Anybody can do it. Now, this is not a pocket. This is not a pocket. It's a flip. And then I took another rub-on and rubbed it right here. And then I thought, well, you know, it'd be nice to continue that circle-y look. So I punched a little circle here, but I did it from the back. I turned this green piece over and punched this from the back. And then this is punched with a 1 3/4 inch punch to give me a little bit bigger of a circle rather than my 1-inch punch. This is a 1 3/4 inch punch, and I inked these also. And now this is a little tuck, and this is a little pocket. And then I just took some little tag stickers that I have, and I haven't punched them out yet. And I've put them on just some cardstock, and I'm going to cut them out. And they're going to fit perfectly in here. And the colors are perfect to go with the colors that are in this little thing. And now before I cut these out, I'm going to take my ink, or actually it's my oxide, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to go like this around the edges. And that's going to hide this white. So when I cut, this is already going to be inked. Let me show you what I mean. This is a little trick that you can do with your stickers. You can put them on cardstock, and then you just go like this with your ink. See how it hides that white a little bit? It kind of makes it the same color as the cardstock. And then when you cut them out, cut off that white part, and your sticker is already inked. And do the same in the circle, in that little circle. So I'm going to do the same around that little circle. And I'll do the same around this whole piece. And then when I punch that out, it'll be the same color as the background. It'll all look the same. Because my vintage photo is the exact same color as that background. And I'll do that before I cut this out. Even though it's supposed to be clear when I put it down, it never is. As you can tell, it's supposed to be clear. See the little piece sticking off? But look, when I put it on the cardstock, it looks white. So I'll do that before I cut those out. And then I'll use those little tags to go in here. Okay? Now, the other mistake that I made, because I was so excited about getting this going to show you guys, was I flipped it over, and I should not have done this because this was going to be part of my cover. I covered these back pages. I should not have done this because this was going to be covered with my cover, my cover fabric. This was going to be the cover of my book, and I should not have decorated back here, but I did. I put this little flippity flop. So to make this, you take, you measure your page. Okay, so you measure your section, and you come in about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, depending on how much of a fold that you're going to need. And then you cut 4 pieces that are exactly the same size, okay? Because mine are covered. 4 pieces. And then you need two pieces that are going to be your hinges. And they have to be the exact length right here. They have to be the exact length. And then you need 4 circles that are 1-inch circles. 4 1-inch circles. Okay. And then you need 2 brads. And that's all you need. And then I just used that little cottony twine stuff and a button. And now you can use anything to close it with. You can use regular twine, you can use lace, you can use whatever you want. And to measure this, you're going to take your circles, and I probably have some here I can show you. You're going to take your little circles. Okay, you're going to take your little circles. Let me get out some cardstock circles here. So you're going to take your little circles, and you're going to put them together like this. And you're going to take an awl, a needle, a pin, something that you can pierce through these circles. Now, I do mine one at a time, okay? And I find the center of my circle, and I poke it through like that, okay? I just poke it through. And then I find the other one, I get the other one, and I put it right behind it like that. And then the one that I poked the first time, I put them together like that. I take this next one and I poke it through. Now, you can poke them at the same time if you choose. If you choose to do that, you can do it. Now, if you have a little punch, if you have a punch that has that little teeny tiny, see that one? That little teeny tiny hole, you can just punch right through. And this is not a 1/8 inch punch. This is smaller. This is, and this never has the size on it. So I need to find out what size this little dude is. But if you have a punch that size, you can use that size because your brad will go through that. Okay. And you just punch right through it. Now keep them together. Keep them together like that, and then put your brad through the hole. Now, you might have to make that hole a little bit bigger for your brad, depending on the size of your brad. Okay? Depending on what size your brad is, you might have to make that hole a little bit bigger. Now, if you're going to just pretend it's a brad holding it together, then you don't have to punch that hole like that. You only need one that has the hole, like that. Or you can just fake it. You can put it down. And just put a dot of glue in the middle. I've done this before. Put a dot of glue in the middle and sit it down. Don't touch it. Just sit it down and let that glue dry. Now it has to be a strong glue like Fabri-Tac, tacky glue, something like that. Do not touch it. You don't want that glue to spread. You want that glue blob to dry where you drop it. Okay? After it dries, that's going to be what holds that circle in place. And then on top of your second one, okay, so you need to put them together first. You need to decorate them first. On top of the second one, you decorate it however you want. A button, a flower, a butterfly, whatever you want to do. And then when you drop them where you want them like that, and if you want it to look like a brad, then you can cut the legs off of it and just glue the top of the brad. Or you can stick the brad through it, spread out the legs, and the legs will lift it up a little bit and glue it down so you don't have to punch your paper. Okay, so there are a couple of different ways that you can work around actually having to punch through your paper. If you don't like doing that, you can do it a couple of different ways. So, you know, you just have to kind of think outside the box when you're doing it. And we'll probably do a few of those as we get around to doing them. So down here, this is my pattern for my we know what this is. Pocket. That's what it is. It's a pocket. But as you can see, it's not going to cover that one. So I thought we would use this. And we would use it like this. Remember we made this? It's got a belly band right here. And originally it was going to be a top pocket. But I thought, well, we can put it like this and we can use it as a side pocket because it's already covered on the back. You know, so we could use it as a belly band. See, here's our belly band. I'm going to have to reinforce this, but there's where our belly band goes. So I thought, yeah, we could use that. But I am going to cover those up. So that's my pocket pattern. And I want to reinforce these. So those were the errors that I made. Now, what I did when I covered this to make sure that it bends properly, I let this dry overnight. I completely walked away from it and let it dry overnight. And then I took my scoring tool and I scored. And I scored really well so that it would dry. And then I said to myself, Lori, you are not paying attention. You need to slow down and pay attention. So that's what I did. I read myself the riot act and said I needed to pay attention. So I'm going to glue this down here. And cover this white piece up. Oh, I needed to cut this in half. Let's see. No, I don't think I want to cover it in half. I think I just want to keep it just like that for down here. Because I think that would be all right. Yeah, that's all right. And then at the top, I'm just going to use a little piece of this with that flower. And go right across there. And I'm just marking it with my finger now. Now this piece I am going to cut in half because it is way too big. And I'm just going to glue this right across here. So those are the errors of someone who was trying to move too fast so I could show you what was going on. So because of those errors, my journal will not flip like I wanted it to. So I am having to adjust things. So don't let mistakes, see, and this is too long. So don't let mistakes, stop you or aggravate you. Just, kind of go with the flow. There we go. And adjust them as you need to. Right there. Now, this is already ready to go. Let's make sure we don't need to trim. I do see a little tiny piece right here that needs trimmed off. And if you're not good trimming with your scissors, then don't be afraid to use your knife for trimming things. Now, over here, okay, I can take my note off. Over here, I need to make sure, because of my new way it's going to flip, I need to make sure that this is in the middle. because now this is going to go like this. Okay, so I need to make sure that this is centralized. That's going to sit like that. So let's go on and cover the back of our belly band. Where is it? There it is. And get some of our pockets down. And I think the back of our belly band we're just going to keep the same green as the front of it. And then we're just going to let it dry. Okay. So, I haven't even said hello to you guys, and how are you doing? And I hope your day's well. We just jumped right in, didn't we? Okay. So, I hope you all are doing well. And a great big hidey-ho to those of you that have left such kind comments and are crafting along with us and creating a journal. I hope you're having fun. All right, so we're going to go on and just give this a quick trim. Now, I'm not going to round the corners yet because the glue's too wet. I'm just going to leave the corners like they are, but I am going to cut the shape. And then I'm just going to let it sit and dry, and then we'll worry about the corners. All right, so I'm going to put this with that. We're going to put this over here in our little stack of goodies, and we're just going to let this sit right inside here. Now, see, here's something I didn't plan on. Let's make sure that this is going to close. Okay, so we need to trim the top, or actually we're going to need to trim the bottom. So let's trim the bottom. So to do that, we are going to, and the reason I'm trimming the bottom and not the top is because the top has the picture in it. So let's trim the bottom here a little bit. And we might also round these corners. That will make it easier to fold. So let's bring it down just a little bit. Now let's make sure it folds. Folds there. Folds there. Good. Let's slide this back in to let it dry. Okay. There. We're going to let that dry. Now over here, we're going to add some pockets. Let's get our scissors out of the way. Get our hinges up there out of the way. All right, so I cut a few pockets right here to put them in. Now over here on the little polka dots, I thought we would add some little flowers and some little, no, the butterflies don't go there. Where were the butterflies going? Were they going here? No, where we're going to put these butterflies? I cut them. Oh, I know. Butterflies were going this way. So it was going to come out that way. Flowers were going down here. Okay. Come on. There we go. So we're coming this way. Ooh, I do believe that is going to be too much glue. So flowers are going down here. Just seemed appropriate, don't you agree? Now, see down here where I missed a trim? That is going to interfere with closing. So whenever you see something like that, trim it now. There we go. Trim it when you see it. Otherwise, when you go to close up your journal, you're going to wonder why something's not closing. And you don't want to push on seams that aren't closing. There we go. Like that. Now this one is going that way, but I want to ink this one up a little bit, or use oxide on it, or whatever you want to call it, because it's a little bland. And I think I want to put another little tiny tuck on it. All right, so these kind of sort of maybe have a little, let's see here. This is the side that I don't want to put anything on. Let's try not to over glue this side. Let's try not to. And I want this to go here. There we go. That's better. Now, the little piece, I want to just put like a little tuck or something right there. Here we go. Here's the little pieces right here. And because we've got some green over here, we've got some green over here, and we've got green here in the background, I want to use some of this little green. Now, I don't think I want it that big though. Like I said, I just want just a little piece, and I want around the top corners. Well, actually, I guess we're going to round them all, because that one's rounded. So we're going to match the little corners on it. And I just used the little tiny 4mm on it. I have to tell you all something. So yesterday, I only got to work on this for a short while because I was puppy sitting. Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to do 2 edges because I was puppy sitting yesterday. And she's a little 9-week-old lab mix. And oh, my goodness sakes. She is the cutest little thing. Now, she is full of spit and vinegar, let me tell you. And my boys were not sure what to do with such a little thing full of so much energy. And especially Baxter. Baxter, you know, he's 5. He is just getting ready to turn 5. He protects his big brother, who's 14. And he was not sure what to do with this little girl who was bouncing around the living room. Now see, these have pockets back here, plus they have pockets in here. Okay, so they go like that. And I want to remind you where the pockets are on these. And he was not real happy with her taking his toys, and they go like that. And she would go to take one of his toys, and he would look at me like, "Mama, what is she doing?" He'd be like, "You have to share, dude." And he was not happy about it. And right here's the pocket. Remember, we put a pocket right here. There's a pocket right here. Okay. Now, you could, if you wanted, you could put a pocket up there if you wanted. But I didn't because I put a pocket down here. Okay, so we're going to turn this over. Now, over here, originally, I was going to put a flip out here. Or something, something else to build on it. But I think I just want to put pockets here now. That's what I want to put over here. And to do those, I want to use some of this. I want to start doing some. Now I need to see how big these pockets need to be, because I don't have any pink over here, but I have some over there. So I think a 2-inch pocket will fit. I don't have any pockets. Oh gosh, I can even go bigger than that. I can go to a 3-inch pocket. But boy, oh boy, she was having a ball. And she is just as cute. She's a little brown lab. Oh my goodness, she is just as cute as a bug's ear. And she was having so much fun. And we had one of those, oddball days that you get in the winter. I still have snow everywhere. And all of a sudden we had, oh, that's perfect. Perfect. All of a sudden I had snow. I mean, I had a 60-degree day, and she was able to, or I was able to take them outside, and we were able to walk around the yard and play a little bit, and had them on leashes, and we got to investigate and do all kinds of fun stuff. So they enjoyed that, and she just had a ball. She wasn't, she wasn't sure what all was going on. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm cutting some squares that we can mix and match for some pockets here. And I think I'm going to keep that to make, maybe we can use that. Okay. Because I have some areas that we can use 3-inch pockets, a couple of areas that we can use some smaller pockets. Okay, so that's how I usually do pockets. I just start cutting squares, and then I see where I want them. Now, some of them have, little flips that we can add, and then we can add pockets on top of them. Okay. So I think I want that one there. Now, this one already has a little folded area on it. So we could put something like that there. Or we could put this one over here. And underneath it, or even on top of it. Let's see, we need pockets over here on this side too. Let me lift you guys up here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I want to do some pockets like this. And I'm trying to make sure that these are kind of evened. Okay. And then maybe, where's the big one? Here. And maybe then put this bigger one like right between these, like that. Maybe make this one a little bit smaller. Oh, wait, let's see. This one's a little bit smaller, isn't it? So if we stack these like this, and then put the smaller one in the middle of them. Yeah, I think I like that. Oops. Oh, I dropped that one. I'll have to pick it up. And then take these and maybe move these over here and make these smaller. Okay, let's do this side first. Before we do these, let's round some corners. Let's round this one, and this one. Okay, here. Like that. And the tops of these. Okay. Let's round the top of these. Okay. So we know this one's going on the bottom. And then we know this one. And then we know that one. So we know that stack like that. And then we know this one. So let's put, to make this one stand out, let's go around this one a little bit to make him stand out a little bit. Okay. and make sure that we don't have anything wampadoodled on him. Okay. So now let's get these put together. Okay, so let's lift this up right there. Now I'm not gluing it to the page yet. I'm just putting a little dot underneath them to hold them together so I can move them off. And if they wiggle, they wiggle. At least I know where they need to go. Okay, now you guys have seen me do this, I don't know how many times, but this is how I stack pockets. Okay, now I don't want this one to go all the way down. I want this one to stop. So to make this one stop, I need to, you know, create a regular pocket. So we're going to do it that way, like that. And then this one needs its dot over here, right there. All right, let's get this wiped off. I think my mat's going to need a bath when we're done. Let's get that off. Okay, so our little flip here. Let's make sure this is straight. It's starting to look a little wampadoodled. Let's put this in here. Let's line it up on a line here. I don't think it's straight. I think it's gotten crooked. Okay, the bottom isn't straight. Yeah, the bottom got a little crooked. Okay, so that's going to go there. Right there. Okay. Right there. Now, if we're going to make him a tuck, we need to come across here, which I think that's what I want to do. But you know what? If I do that, I can't get to that pocket. So I think I'm just going to leave it as a flip out. Like that. And take one of these pieces and cover it the inside. I think I like this piece better. I think my belly's grumbling. Okay, where's that little green medallion? All right, let's cover this. Let's make sure that it's still gonna do its thing. Okay, so I'm scooting it out a little bit to make sure that it still does what it's supposed to do. And then I'm pushing it down. Now, some of you are probably asking, why didn't I cover the paper first? Well, it would have been too thick through here and back here. So now, this is my opinion. This probably isn't everybody else's opinion, but it's mine. I prefer to have a thinner page when I'm doing this. Darn, but I wanted this to be a pocket. And I just glued it all down. Darn it. Darn it, darn it. Okay, well, now it's not a pocket. Okay, so to make it a pocket, I gotta add something. Okay. So what happens when I don't pay attention? Silly girl. Okay. So here's our little flip out. It's on top of our pockets. Okay, so it'll flip out. You'll still see our pockets. Okay, so I want to put just a little pocket in here and maybe a little pocket out here. But I need to make sure my glue isn't gooping up everywhere. And I think I want to use, or maybe, maybe we'll put some of this. No, I have another idea for that piece. Huh. Maybe we'll use a piece of this. Okay. Now, I think I want this to go here, and it'll just be a little tuck for something small. Now, remember, if you don't like inks and oxides and all that stuff, you don't have to do that. Or if you don't like, vintage photo, there are, tons of other colors that could be used in this. You could be using the pinks, the yellows, the blues, the greens. You use whatever colors that you want to use in yours. I just like the vintage photo in mine. There. So now I have a little tuck right there. And I have those 3 pockets. So now let's glue this down. Now I'm going to glue across here. Remember, I didn't want that one to go all the way down. And I'm going to glue here. But I'm going to take this one all the way down. I'm going to take this all the way down and across. Okay, now I want this to go kind of in the middle. And I need to make sure I get the glue off of here. I think I put a little too much at the bottom. And I need to make sure up here that I get this across where it's supposed to go. Because I don't want this top pocket going all the way down. I want it to stop. Now, if I change my mind and on the inside of this, I want to add something, I can. At another time, I can always do that. Okay, so now, here's how it's going to fold. Okay, let's get that out of there. So, this is what my inside looks like so far. This is going to come here, so I still need to add something here. This comes over. I still have my hidden pocket right here. Now, going in that pocket is this. And it needs trimmed so that it fits. I just haven't trimmed it yet. This goes here. And because this was too wide for that to fit, remember I told you that earlier, I had to make sure that when I used this tool this morning, that I made sure that I gave it a little bit of a spine right there. And by doing that, I can fold that. And then this folds in like that. So on the back now, I have this, and it's gonna open like this, okay? It closes up, and then I can flip it over to the back, and I can look at the back. Okay, so this is my front that wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't supposed to be here. It was supposed to be here or some other place, but I put it in the wrong spot. Now, again, I could cut it off and move it if I chose to, but I didn't think of that until, it was too late. Now, I may do that. I already have my paper covered, and I really don't have anything stuck down to it. So I might do that to get this off of there and put down what I want, because, our belly band isn't stuck down yet. It's right here. So I might change its location. It would be easy enough to do. So I was very frustrated when I realized that. So don't let little frustrations like that, stop you from creating. Just keep going and keep creating, because there are solutions to things like that. And we can just keep going. Now, my belly band is ready to be trimmed the rest of the way. And we can put him where he belongs. And we can get his ends trimmed. And while I'm doing this, I want to say that one more video, one or two, I'm thinking should wrap this up. I'm hoping, anyhow. Let's see here what we got going. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can get our corners all together. Okay. There we go. Now, let's get all these in here. Now, if you're noticing that it's popping out, it is because it's a brand new fold. And that brand new fold is going to need, I'm going to have to put some books on it so that it can stay where it's supposed to stay. Okay, where are you? There we go. There's my belly band. There. Right there's the belly band. So, yeah, it's going to have some weight on it to hold them down, because they're brand new folds that we had to do. And see, I need to put some glue under there. So it'll get some books on them to hold them down where they need to go, and tell them this is your new home, and make them behave. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And see, it was supposed to be there. And then my little secret pocket is right there underneath it. So it might get moved. You all, when you come back the next time, it might not be there, because it's very, is not a very good spot for it. So when you guys come back the next time, it may be gone. You just never know about these things. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And I hope you have fun, and I hope you create. I hope you're having a good time with this. And I'm so sorry I hid the camera. Oops-a-doodles. Did not mean to do that. And I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you're creating along with me. And keep those comments coming, because I love reading them every day. And I hope you're sharing with a friend. And I wanted to show you real quick before you left. February's itinerary. We have lots of fun things coming, and let's see. So we have a big ephemera video coming up. I've already done that, added to the planner, And right here was what we're doing now. We're working on our folio journal. We've got a flip-flop journal coming up. And I'm working on planning the flip-flop journal now. And then in March, we've got a garden journal coming. We've got some pocket journals coming. And then we might be finishing up that flip-flop. So you just never know. So I've got 3 other journals sitting behind me that I'm working on. And then I've already started on April. So there you go. We've got lots of things in the planning processes and lots of fun things to do. Plus, I got to finish the cover for my planner. And we've got some decorating in the planner to do. I haven't had time to decorate in my planner. Oh my gracious. Look, she's naked. She is just as naked as a jaybird. So we've got to get some decorating done in the planner, guys. So, yep, we've got to get some decorating in there. So we may do that when we have some downtime. Notice how I said downtime. Yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. But I'm sure it'll happen sooner or later. And you know what I just realized? I just realized where I covered up where my closure was supposed to be. Well, darn. I don't know where my closure is going to be. Well, I guess we're going to have to figure that out again, too. Okay, well, yeah, my crafting days have just been chaotic and fun, and now we just have to figure that out all over again. Oh, well, there we go. So we're going to put a book on top of this and let my folds kind of find out where their new home is. And then I'll come back. I'll make a couple more videos for you. And we'll get some more pockets in. And you never know. Maybe some more flips and fun. And we'll have a good time with her. And set her up and get her going. And then we'll get some closures on her. And we'll be done. So I want to thank you guys one last time for joining me. And I hope you had fun today. And until I see you in the next Ladybug Journal, ta-ta for now.